The man who called himself Kovat, I heard him leaving.
You heard this man again. Do you think you could identify him?
I will never forget his voice as long as I live.
At an FBI-hosted supermodel party, a man was about to answer a phone call when he was suddenly tackled to the ground by two burly agents. It turned out that the party had been set up to lure out a suspect known as Ghost Head, who was infamous for counterfeiting currency. Neil had learned that Ghost Head had a particular fondness for supermodels and was certain he would show up once he heard about the event. All they needed was for Reese to listen to the guests' voices at the party so she could identify him. Not long after the party began, Burke, watching the surveillance monitors, noticed a man in red behaving suspiciously. Neil immediately approached him and struck up a conversation, but before they could exchange many words, the man's phone rang. Reese shook her head, indicating that the voice didn't match.
Wait, he's speaking Hebrew. He's saying, I'm waiting, where are you?
Neil realized that the man in red must have been contacted by Ghost Head. He then instructed an agent disguised as a model to approach the man, while Neil quietly stole his phone. What Neil didn't know was that all of this had already been observed by Ghost Head nearby. He quickly approached another man, and under the pretense that his female companion admired the man's expensive suit, he slipped the phone into the man's pocket, then promptly left the party. Meanwhile, Neil picked up the phone taken from the man in red, and called back the number from earlier, immediately locking onto a target. The unsuspecting man pulled out the phone that didn't belong to him, and before he could react, he was pinned to the ground by several agents. However, when Reese heard the man's screams, she said he wasn't Ghost Head. Neil then realized they had caught the wrong person, and by that time, Ghost Head had already escaped the party.